Hello and welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu Daily. And remember, if you've got any video suggestions, any article suggestions, please tag me on Twitter @MoviesTVMad. Scott Edwards has a question for me today. I will be answering that Black Lightning question at the end of the video. We will be discussing later on about the announcement that Black Lightning Season 4 will be the show's last. Absolutely devastated about that, by the way. But first of all, let's discuss and call out Grace Randolph's Green Lantern BS. Grace has been telling us for months and months and months that Ryan Reynolds potentially could be playing his very own Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, what's been worse, this has caused many arguments on Twitter and on social media between Snyder fans who think that Grace Randolph is Christ incarnate and people who don't believe a word that she says. Now, let me just say one thing. Just because Grace Randolph has had 2 interviews with Zack Snyder doesn't mean she knows what's happening in every Zack Snyder film. If you believe that, that means you believe Wonder Meg knows exactly what's going to happen in Zack Snyder's Justice League, or you believe that Chris Wong Svensson knows exactly what's going to happen, or John Aaron Garza, who's had him on The Real Anarchy as well, right? Just because you have interviews with the guy doesn't mean you have an inside track. Now, you can tell me, oh, yeah, but he showed Grace a picture of what Joker looks like in Justice League. It doesn't matter. He was giving her an interview. He gave her a bit of a tidbit, and that's great. It's clear that he, I wouldn't say trusts her, but uses her to relay some information. And that's cool. Now, if you believed... Now, listen, yesterday we had this whole announcement about the Bob's Burgers writers. I know, every time I think about that, I just laugh. The Bob's Burgers writers, creators, developing a Deadpool 3 script. May do a video about that later on. So all of a sudden, Grace Randolph comes out and says, breaking news, there will be no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Are you having a laugh, Grace? How dumb do you think we are? Well, your disciples within the Snyder fan base may be quite dumb enough to believe every word you fucking say, but not me. Think about this. Just because there's a Deadpool 3 script being developed, if you believed that Ryan Reynolds was going to play his Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League before the announcement of Deadpool 3 being in development, you should still believe that. Because actors can do multiple projects. I mean, they haven't even started writing it yet. And he's busy, he's doing things all the time. So kind of from this kind of narrative, you would say, oh, well, he's doing that freestyle or whatever he's done, or any other film he's made recently. Oh, well, he can't play Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So this announcement being made should have no kind of basis if whether or not Ryan Reynolds will play his Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But she said it. Listen, it's funny. She obviously didn't know about the Deadpool 3 announcement. And as soon as she hears it, she comes out and says there's going to be no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. We simply know this is not true because we've heard far too much. We know that there are going to be lanterns, maybe not Hal Jordan, but there are going to be lanterns in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So from that, she goes, there's going to be no Green Lantern in Justice League. How? How have you come out with that? Oh, bit of a coincidence, isn't it, Grace? That you've been giving this bullshit about Ryan Reynolds playing Hal Jordan in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and as soon as it's been announced that a script for Deadpool 3 is being developed, you come out and say, there is no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League? What? What? Are you being serious? I don't know if Ryan Reynolds is going to play Hal Jordan in Zack Snyder's Justice League. You don't know if Ryan Reynolds is going to play Hal Jordan in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Nobody knows. That's the thing. The rumour came from somewhere. She got it from someone. Unless she pulled it out the sky, it won't be the first time. I have a love-hate relationship with Grace Randolph. I'm blocked by her on Twitter. And that's fine, that's up to her. I've even asked to be unblocked. Obviously, again, I'm not doing myself any favours. I think she's a useful person to follow on YouTube and on Twitter because she talks about movies and she has a great knowledge about movies. One of the few female movie pundits, successful movie pundits. So that's a good and refreshing thing. But I have to call people's bullshit out. How dare she come out and say there's no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League? Just because she's dialing back from something that potentially isn't true. But you have to think about it. As I say, we don't know if Ryan's going to be in Justice League, right? As Hal Jordan. But why would she come out minutes after the announcement of that they're developing Deadpool 3? Then she's saying there's no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Really? Really? No. I think what this proves is that she knows she was talking absolute bullshit from the beginning and she's beginning to get a bit scared. As soon as she heard this news, I don't know why it made her come out and say this. So, yeah, think about this, right? If she's always known there's going to be no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League, why was she hinting about Ryan Reynolds playing Hal Jordan in Zack Snyder's Justice League? And then as soon as this news of Deadpool 3 being in development came out, she says there's going to be no Green Lantern. Think about that as well, right? It actually proves that she knew what she was saying was utter bullshit. So what do I think? First of all, I never knew what to think about the rumours of Ryan Reynolds being in Justice League. I still don't know what to think because it could still be true. Because when Zack's been asked, he giggles and he doesn't say anything. I always thought it was a bit weird. I didn't think this would be Zack's play. So I thought it was a bit odd and out of character of Zack to do this. Of course, Ryan Reynolds has made jokes about the Snyder Cut. Nice jokes, not horrible jokes. When he was in front of an audience, he was talking about, oh, this film's a Snyder Cut, and people started making assumptions. He clearly has a lot of love for Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse, which is great. I like Ryan Reynolds. He's a very talented gentleman. He's a gentleman of great humour. I have a lot of time for Ryan. And I know what happened with the Green Lantern movie hurt Ryan immensely. This is why he jokes about it all the time. It's a nervous kind of tension type of laughing at it. He knows that was a great opportunity and he would love to come back and put right what once went wrong. There's no question about that. And I would welcome him back. If it is true that he's going to be in Justice League as Hal Jordan, nothing would make me happier. If the success of that cameo would mean he would do his own movie and his own limited TV series as Hal Jordan, nothing would please me more. It would be amazing. But I don't like the fans being insulted, being manipulated. As I always say, it's the manipulation of the innocent that really does break my heart. So nobody knows if Ryan Reynolds is going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League or not as Hal Jordan. That's one fact. The announcement that a Deadpool 3 script is being developed doesn't change that. It doesn't change that one little bit. He can still do it. Henry Cavill was over on Mission Impossible Fallout. Because they needed to do reshoots, they had to talk to Paramount and they allowed him to come over. But no way was the moustache going to be shaved off because they needed him in that moustache. They'd already shot the guy with a moustache. Maybe if they hadn't shot already, there could have been a deal to be done there. And maybe we wouldn't be getting Zack Snyder's Justice League. Things could have been different. Just over one kind of bit of facial hair under somebody's nose, right? So we know that two people can work on 2 or 3 projects in the same year. Right, so just because Ryan Reynolds and these Bob's Burgers creators are developing a Deadpool 3 script doesn't mean if he was going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he isn't now. So if it was happening, it still is happening, right? I have my doubts. But one thing I'm absolutely sure about, that there will be Green Lanterns, maybe not Hal Jordan, but there will be Green Lanterns in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And for her to come out and say there is no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I don't even know what she means by that. There's no Green Lantern whatsoever, or there's no Hal Jordan, or there's no Ryan Reynolds. What does she even mean by that? And how, if she's been saying this for months, right, that they wanted First, she was saying it was happening. Then she said a couple of weeks ago they want it to happen. So she was changing her tact already. So she could feel the atmosphere and kind of sniff the air was changing, right? By kind of backing down on what she was saying. But how would she know seconds after they announced that they're developing a Deadpool 3 script, that there's no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League? You know, as I say, I don't like bitching about people, but this is an insult. If you believe her for 1 minute, if you believe her for 1 minute, seconds after a Deadpool 3 script being in development, being announced, that there's no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League, if you really believe that, you've lost my respect. Now, you probably don't care about my respect or my opinion, and that's cool. After you lot always telling me that I talk to myself on this YouTube channel, that I've got no followers, that my subscribers are bots, that I'm wasting my time. Well, let me tell you, I never launched this channel to be YouTube famous. If it happened, it would have been a bonus. This is about me having a voice. I value the 20 to 50 people a day who come in and watch my videos. You are beautiful people for supporting me, right? And obviously got a bit of taste as well, right? But the point being, I think when you watch this video and you listen to what I've said, A, nobody knows if Ryan's in Justice League or not. That's true. Nobody knows, right? It's seeming less likely all the time, and I never kind of totally believed it. And I always said the same thing. I'd love it to happen, but it seems like an out there thing plucked out the sky, right? But so we don't know that. Secondly, if he was going to be in it before the development of Deadpool 3 was announced, he was still going to be in it now, right? People can work on multiple projects, as we've already discussed, right? But the very suspicious thing is that Grace coming out, you know, seconds and minutes after they announced a Deadpool 3 script in development, right? It's very, very suspicious and dubious, and it proves she's a bit worried. She's worried about what her audience are going to think as soon as that announcement was made. Hang on a minute, Grace, you were saying that maybe, you know, maybe you were hinting that Deadpool 3 wasn't going to happen. Listen, this is the dceu Daily, but let me tell you this. I said for a very long time that Ryan Reynolds will walk away from Deadpool, the character, totally, because of creative problems. And, by the way, I think this announcement doesn't change that. I think he's still going to walk away. I think there's been a big problem that he's been fighting for these films to remain R-rated. Yesterday, these sites have said that this film, Deadpool 3, will be R-rated. I'm not sure about that, and I have my doubts because no one from Disney has confirmed that, and I don't think Disney want that. I don't think they want that at all. It's very difficult for the Disney platform to have an R-rated superhero movie, but we will see. As I say, this is the DCEU Daily, not the MCU Daily. But just because this is happening now, if Ryan was going to do Justice League before, he was always going to do it now. No, that wouldn't change. So to magically come out minutes after they make this announcement and say, oh, there's no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, if she didn't say that, I wouldn't have spoken about this subject. She didn't come out and say there's no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I would have kept quiet about this very, very subject. But sometimes you have to call out bullshit when you know something is bullshit. There are Green Lanterns in Zack Snyder's Justice League. In the history lesson, we know that, right? I mean, even in fucking Justice League, even Joss Whedon, whatever you say about him, had a little bit of a cameo of a Green Lantern, right? Actually, not a cool cameo. We know that Zack Snyder's history lesson is longer and has more to it, which means we're going to see more lanterns, or at least more of that lantern in his history lesson. So how can she turn around and say there's no Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League? We already know she's lying. She's been caught out in a lie. It's as simple as that. And that's where I'll leave this subject. Comment down below about that and let me know what you think about Grace Randolph and all these Ryan Reynolds rumours. I am very, very sad to hear that Black Lightning will be cancelled after season 4. When I heard Supergirl was being cancelled, I wasn't sad at all. I think Supergirl is a shit show, mired in identity politics. I really do. I think Mel Benoist is a great Supergirl. I love the cast. I think they're great people. But at the end of the day, and I think the first season was pretty cool, right? And basically, since the end of season 1, it hasn't been a very, very good show. And I'm very confident that she will continue in Arrowverse in some shape, way or form. But I wasn't very bothered about that. I was devastated about the cancellation of Arrow. I believe Arrow should never have been cancelled. And I believe that Stephen Amell was being economical with the troupe when he said he wanted to leave for a couple of seasons. That wasn't why this decision was taken, because all of a sudden now he's realised it's cold outside. He rang up Berlanti to see if he could do a season 9 of Arrow. Jesus Christ. I think that's coming, by the way. But anyway, Black Lightning is a really, really good show. It's very similar, actually, for what the setup's going to be for Superman and Lois. It's about a family. I love this character. I think he's been well played. Don't expect me to know any actors' real names or anything, because I can't remember right now. I'm at a blank. But the actor who plays Black Lightning is fucking amazing. I've never read Black Lightning before. I've seen him in kind of animated shows and things like that. But what a great show it is. I thought the dynamic with the daughters and the wife and the guy who helps him, it was such a great setup. And the villain, I mean, I only actually watched half of season 1. And it wasn't because I didn't want to continue watching it. It's because it was just because I had work to do. I look after my disabled father. I do a lot of writing. I'm always in conference calls with the network I'm developing the first English-speaking dramas for. You know, there's a lot of things to do, so I can't watch every show. But I did enjoy it. But I do think probably, and I think this is a business decision, I think it is about ratings. I think many people have kind of not watched it as much as they should. And that's a shame, because there's nothing wrong with Black Lightning. It's an amazing show. An amazing show. And I'm so sad it's been cancelled for the people who developed it, for the people who star in it, for all the cast and all the crew, because it really is a great show. And I definitely will try and binge it and watch the final season too. And talking of Black Lightning, Scott Edwards has got a Black Lightning related question. And here it is. Movies TV Man, my question for tomorrow's DCEU Daily is, what do you think of Black Lightning ending? Well, we've already discussed that. And do you still think he and Supergirl will continue in the Arrowverse? Well, Scott, just to reiterate, I'm absolutely devastated that Black Lightning is ending. I think it's an injustice. I think this show is the best form of representation that this network and DC have ever done. It's amazing because the representation is there, but it's done in entertaining, compelling fashion. Something that I always say representation should be done with, right? Because if you think about this, if you've got a white show that's compelling and entertaining, and then you're representing people of colour, then your show isn't compelling and isn't entertaining. Isn't that the biggest racism of all? But not this show. This show represented a black family in such a good, positive way. Good people, wholesome people, right? And it's absolutely fantastic. So I'm absolutely devastated about the cancellation. Now, will these characters continue? Absolutely yes. I believe all the cancelled Arrowverse shows will have crossovers with the existing. Look, what's going on now is what they're actually doing is basically phase 1 of Arrowverse is being rolled back, right? So it's a bit like what they did with the first 3 phases of the MCU, what Feige did. This is what they're doing. They're rolling out, they're basically phasing out the first phase, the first lot of shows. And now we're seeing lots of things like Wonder Girl and Superman and Lois and Stargirl. This is the new Arrowverse. But those other characters will always be around. They will always cameo. But also I believe there's an opportunity for cancelled Arrowverse characters to have limited or standalone movies over on HBO Max. And I think that's the future. This is, I suppose, in a way for the franchise, it's really exciting to phase certain types of characters out and bringing new ones. It's what a superhero universe should be. They can't keep all the shows and bring in new shows and new characters. No one's got that kind of budget, right? And the CW does have to show unrelated DC shows as well. But yes, it's very sad, Scott, but the characters will live on and we will keep on seeing them. But what do you think about what I was talking about earlier with Grace Randolph and her Green Lantern bullshit? And that's what we've got to say it is, right? Because as I say, very suspicious how seconds after Deadpool 3 being in development was announced, she came out and said there's no Green Lantern. I think it's ridiculous, and I'm really pissed off about it. But I want to know your thoughts and opinions down below, and they don't have to echo mine. This is not an echo chamber. And what do you think about Black Lightning being cancelled? Are you like, I never watched it anyway, I don't care, don't like the Arrowverse, or are you as gutted and as devastated as I am? Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.